What's up, guys? Trail here, better known as Budget Bill, and this is your third stimulus check update and stimulus package update for Thursday, March the 4th. Good morning, everyone, and boy, do we have a lot of things going on this week. I told you guys last week that this was going to be a big week, but apparently I underestimated that statement. There have been changes made in regards to the $1,400 stimulus checks. As the Biden administration is under pressure from both sides of the chambers, changes have already been made and more new changes are coming very soon. With the Senate having this mini trial session yesterday evening, we could see more changes being submitted in the days ahead. The VoteARama is happening today, and this could go on for hours. Also, could there be a flip to the recurring stimulus payments? It's obviously in the news again, and the unemployment benefits weekly boost may receive another change. Those are just some of the topics that we are going to cover today. If this is your first time to the channel, hey, welcome and glad to have you. On this channel, we talk about finance, real estate, credit cards, and stimulus update news. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to hit that like button for me if you enjoy this type of content. It doesn't cost you a single dime for me to bring this information to you, and all I ask is just a simple press of the like button, as it really helps out the channel. Now, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. What's up, guys? As I told you guys earlier that this was going to be a big week in stimulus news. Well, I am nothing short of it being a big week. We have had some major developments regarding the $1,400 stimulus checks, and we all were hoping that this would be a smooth process in getting this bill passed into legislation, but it appears that it's a little more challenging than we initially thought. And the reason is because the bill has not been signed into law yet, and the Senate is causing more pressure on the Democrats to modify this bill to get some more support. Well, there are discussions around changing the income thresholds for individuals and married couples in order to receive the $1,400 stimulus checks. Originally, anyone making less than $75,000 per year would be eligible for the full payment of $1,400. Then anything above $75,000 would be phased out all the way through $100,000. The more you make above $75,000, the more your $1,400 check would actually decrease. Then the stimulus amount would go to zero after you cross over $100,000. Well, they have now changed that from $100,000 to $80,000. So that means your $1,400 stimulus check would be phased out from $75,000 to $80,000, and that's where it would go to zero. And then for couples, it's the same process. So anything under $150,000 for couples would remain the full amount of $2,800 for the couple. And then anything that you make over $150,000 would then be phased out to $160,000. So between $150,000 and $160,000, your $1,400 stimulus checks would be phased out to zero. So these new phased out limits have been shrunken significantly. So a $5,000 phase out period for individuals and a $10,000 phase out period for married couples. So it's really important that most people make less than $75,000 for individuals or $150,000 for couples to make sure that you stay under the income threshold to guarantee your stimulus payments that are coming very soon. And these changes that were made were a compromise.
Far left minimum wage policy that would have killed 1.4 million jobs just as we try to recover, that appears to be gone too, at least for now. The Democrats had a choice. They chose to go it alone, tack to the left, leave families' top priorities on the cutting room floor.
Now, these changes will probably not affect majority of people receiving stimulus checks, so this latest change might not be a big deal for most Americans. And as I stated, they are still open to making more changes to the bill, so anything is possible that could happen this week. And because these changes are still happening right now, the Senate has not released the full text of the bill just yet. Now, yesterday evening, they were supposed to have a trial run of votes in the Senate to see the potential of passing this bill. Now, what that means is that they would be going around to the members in the Senate to see who is all in favor of this bill as it currently stands and who is not in favor. Basically like a trial run before they actually bring it to the floor for a vote. This way is much less formal, but it can find a gauge on the progress of whether this bill can be successful or not. And the time of making this video, they have not performed that vote. So perhaps sometime this morning they will have it done. And then later today, they are expected expected to have what's called a VoteARama. Yes, I know, sort of a weird name, if you will, but this is an opportunity for the Senate members to submit as many amendments to this bill as they like to, as well as the Democrats can submit their amendments as well. Typically in the past, we have seen ridiculous amendments being presented and some good ones mixed in with the bad ones. And this is just a tactic that is used by the opposing party to make it more painful for the Democrats. And actually, Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky already said that his people are talking about issuing amendments and making this thing go all night long, which is totally absurd. Why waste taxpayers' dollars and waste the American people's time by doing this just to make it harder for the Democrats to pass legislation? But I get it. I guess that's what politics are, right? Senator Paul said that some people in his party want this thing to go all night long and they hope to drag this out over 2 days. And they are actually using this word infinity in regards to the stall tactic. Even everyone's favorite, Mitch McConnell, vowed to stop Biden's stimulus plan from happening.
We're making extraordinary progress with the rollout of the vaccines. The economy is struggling to get back on its feet and did not ever become as bad as the doomsday projections at various points a year ago. So we think this package should have been negotiated on a bipartisan basis, like the last 5 bills were done. Instead, the new administration made a conscious decision to jam us, to do it one party only, to take advantage of the reconciliation process to try to achieve a whole lot of other items completely unrelated to COVID-19. So we'll be fighting this in every way that we can. It is my hope that at the end, Senate Republicans will unanimously oppose it, just like House Republicans did. And I think it's noteworthy that over in the House, the only thing bipartisan about the proposal was the opposition to it.
So, if the Republicans are successful with this tactic, this could go on until the weekend, which screws up everyone that had hopes of getting this bill passed in the Senate this week. Now, there are still some other potential changes regarding the current stimulus package. We know that the $15 minimum wage was removed from the bill as we all expected. Biden notified us a few weeks ago that this was a possibility in order to get the bill passed, so that has been removed. However, Senator Bernie Sanders, he has vowed and has plans to introduce a vote on including the $15 minimum wage increase in the stimulus bill. Sanders said that he vows to continue the work towards passing legislation and getting the minimum wage increase done. He said that if we fail in this legislation, he will be back. We are going to keep going, he said. In addition, there are some other proposals out that are supporting the idea of $2,000 recurring stimulus payments. Several Democrats are now urging Biden to include monthly payments to Americans until the pandemic is over. This continues to be played over and over and over again, but still no real traction for this. Then we have Joe Manchin. He is not happy with the unemployment benefits of $400 per week. He says that that amount is just too much money, and he prefers to keep it at the current level of $300 per week. So Manchin is expected to submit an amendment to this bill for that particular change. So as you can see that there are a lot of moving parts in getting this stimulus bill passed in the Senate and ultimately signed into legislation. We still have a long way to go, but the Democrats are still confident in passing this bill before the March 14th deadline. But in the process, the Republicans vow to make this as painful as possible while they can. Now, moving forward, once all of the changes are made and they are finished playing all of these games, the bill will go back to the House for them to vote on the new modified bill. So it is kind of starts all over once again. However, this time around should be more successful in passing in the House and the Senate because the changes were already made in advance. But knowing how these guys work in Congress, it can still fail, guaranteed. But what are your thoughts on this, guys? How do you guys feel about this? I know most people are just tired of being sick and tired of these games from Congress. Let me know your thoughts down below. I want to hear your voice speak. And with all of that being said, this has been your third stimulus check update news for today. If you enjoyed any of this information or found it to be useful or you actually like some of my jokes, be sure to hit the like button for me. It definitely helps out a lot and it tells YouTube to share this video with others. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button for me so that you can be a part of this community, and hit the notification bell to be notified of each new video. Again, hey, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Peace.